My name is Patrick Holden. I'm the Chief Executive of the Sustainable Food Trust, which is a UK-based not-for-profit organisation whose mission is to accelerate the transition towards more sustainable food systems. Previously, I worked for the Soil Association for many years. For 15 years, I was its director. But throughout the time that I've been running those organisations, I've also been a farmer. So I'm a dairy farmer, still milking cows. In fact, interestingly enough, my history of farming goes back to 1973. I was a back-to-the-lander who got out of London with a great deal of naivety and interest in farming in a green way and not much knowledge. And of course, when we started farming in the early 70s, we immediately encountered an environment where every litre of milk and ton of grain was heavily subsidised. We had to farm in an environment where the more fertilisers and pesticides and intensive methods you applied, the more money you made. Well, the major issues we're facing today are feeding a peak population, whatever it is, of 9 billion, against a background of climate change and resource depletion and a diminishing area of productive agricultural land, due not least to the way in which intensive farming systems have not only led directly to climate change, but also have caused a decline in soil fertility. If you want to achieve a systemic change in a farming system away from the current orthodoxy, you have to ask yourself what interventions are necessary to bring about a shift. And I think the answer is you can't just have it on one level, it has to be on several levels at once. We need a revolution, really, in our attitudes and in our practices. And that, from my experience, will come both from the top down, but also initially from the bottom up. I think there's a whole generation of young people arising now, especially in America, but also in mainland Europe, not so much in the UK, but it's coming, who are actually thinking in a very, very different way about the food systems we need for the future. And whereas a few years ago it wasn't cool if you were an urban person to be interested in a potential alternative career working on the land, I think there are millions of people now who, for a variety of different reasons, look rather enviously at young people who are building a career on the land and would be prepared to trade down their income for the increased quality of life and meaning and the sense of well-being that working on the land gives you. So it might be really good to send out a public letter, possibly addressed to the European Commission or the Agriculture Commissioner or commissioners, but absolutely copied to significant members of the media and other people who might take an interest, pointing out the fact that a very large amount of money each year is going to each of the member states to pay farmers to do things which are against the public interest, both in terms of the environment and public health, and suggest that in future all subsidies that are made available to farmers, both through Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 of the Common Agricultural Policy, should only be given to farmers in conditions where they are delivering genuine public benefits.